Hello, everybody. It's me, Albatross. Okay, I got the indictment right here for the Hoover gang, but there's a couple things I wanted to point out real quick. Now, this gang has been featured on a lot of popular influencer channels. Oh, by the way, quick disclaimer, trigger warning, there'll be some graphic, disturbing information here related to crimes against children and crimes against humanity. Please do not attempt to contact anybody I mentioned in this video. Yeah, please don't do that. What else? I'm within my rights to talk about, my opinion on all this, so just sue me if you want, but I'm going to talk about it. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. But anyways, okay. So there's been certain influencers that have been tied in with this gang, not in the indictment, but before the indictment and since. Podcasters like Adam No Jumper, Soft White Underbelly, like they've notoriously like interviewed some of these names that you see on here. I mean, especially Adam No Jumper. And this is my opinion. I think he is so insufferable. His whole channel, like he is just okay. Either he's working for the feds or he is just an awful, despicable, deplorable human being. Either way, I don't know, just something just feels off with that guy. But he pretty much does everything but condone child trafficking, like normalizes it. Like, I don't know, that maybe that's his whole thing. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. I don't know, but it's quite disgusting. It's very hard to sit through. But anywho, he just had this 14-year-old girl. She's pretty famous on the internet. Bless her heart, Nova. She was on the Soft White Underbelly when she was 13. And Mark Leda was essentially like advertising her services. And I know it's disgusting and hard to believe, but it's literally happening. And did he get, what's it called? Demonetized? No, he did not. He did not. He just like took it down, censored her nipples, and then just put the interview back on there. It's truly disgusting. It really is. But anywho, what does Nova have to do with the Hoovers? Well, there's been a lot going on online. Like the few Hoovers that have not been indicted are basically going on like Adam No Jumper and threatening this little girl and all kinds of horrific stuff. All of that's been happening. And it is so weird. It's like they don't even like try to hide their criminal activity on that podcast at all. They openly talk about kidnapping girls, openly talk about torturing women. Like they just openly talk about this stuff on these platforms. It is truly weird. It is a trend I am not familiar with. I don't understand. But anyways, let's get started on this indictment because it's quite lengthy. There are like over 200 overt acts committed by these people named. I am not going to go through and read all these names. Like, it's just way too much. Sorry, I'm not going to read them all. The main ones that we need to be aware of is Lady Duck, aka Amaya Amstead. Now, she is being alleged as being the leader of this organization in this particular indictment. But I'm kind of a little hesitant to believe that myself. Because it goes on to describe there's at least 1,800 members in this Hoover gang. Okay? At least 1,800. Now, maybe she's like the leader of this particular group that's being indicted right here. But I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that this little 24-year-old girl is like the head of the whole entire enterprise. I just have a hard time believing that. I mean, one could assume that maybe they're, like, holding out hope that she's going to snitch on people above her. Maybe. Who knows? Like, the people who are, like, actually, like, trafficking, like, people's organs and stuff that they had talked about before. But anyways, I'm getting too far into my own speculation. Let's read this indictment. Okay, after they get done naming all these people, they go on to say that they either call it the Hoover Enterprise or just simply, the Enterprise. The Hoover's organization was a criminal street gang engaged in a variety of illegal activities, including but not limited to sex trafficking of minors, sex trafficking through force, fraud and coercion, narcotics trafficking, money laundering, assaults, robberies, kidnappings, and other violent crimes. And also, a lot of them themselves have gone onto these podcasts, like I said, and have admitted all of this themselves. Don't know if that'll be used against them in court, but their social media posts are certainly being used against them in this indictment. Okay. The Hoovers operated in the Central District of California and elsewhere. The Hoovers organization, including its including its leaders, members, and associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 4. Hereinafter, like they said, it's either going to be the Hoovers Enterprise or just simply the Enterprise. And it's a group of individuals that were just named above who are all associated. The Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for the common purpose of achieving the objects of the enterprise. Okay, the enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce, which is important. It ties into the trafficking charge. Oh, crap. And they use Cash App? Oh, my God. Cash App is a licensed money services business, which is a financial institution pursuant to 31 U.S.C. 5312 A2R, which is engaged in or the activities of which affect interstate or foreign commerce. See, this is why I get this feeling that these aren't the actual, like, big dogs that the feds are actually looking for. And I don't know, I could be wrong, but, like, it doesn't feel very smart to use Cash App for human trafficking, but that's just my opinion. I mean, maybe they were limited on what they could actually use. I mean, yeah, it's easy, quick enough, sure, but it leaves a huge paper trail. Okay, now we get into the background of the racketeering enterprise. The Hoovers were a criminal street gang formed in the late 1970s. You see, yeah, this definitely, these can't be the leaders of the whole enterprise. They're like in their early 20s. I mean, maybe I'm the dumb one who doesn't know much about the different factions of these gangs and stuff. Because, like, I'm just going over this indictment in particular. I don't pretend to know the whole history behind it. Okay, so yeah, in the late 1970s and later became a part of the larger West Side Crips umbrella. The West Side Crips eventually split into two factions, the Gangster Crips and the Neighborhood Crips, and the Hoovers aligned themselves with the Gangster Crips. I don't know what the difference is. From the late 1970s to the early 1990s, the Hoovers were known as Hoover Gangster Crips, or HGC. To differentiate themselves from other gangs in the area and to establish their own reputation, Hoover factions, or sets, the street term for, their different family organizations, dropped the Gangster Crip from their identity and became the Hoover Criminal Gangsters, or simply the Hoover Criminals. Wow, that's smart. I mean, it kind of sounds like, P. Diddy calling his own family organization the Combs Cartel. Like, I mean, just dumb. Just dumb. Okay. So, yeah, or simply just the Hoover Criminals. Several enemy gangs of the Hoovers also claim Crip. And the Hoovers believed it no longer made sense for them to hold on to the Crip faction identity. The more sovereign Hoover's gang identity gave rise to the especially dangerous Hoover's mentality of being an everybody killer. What? Or EBK, meaning that members will kill anyone or commit violence against anyone who stands in their way of making money or promoting the enterprise. Okay. All right, I get it. This created an atmosphere of intimidation that allowed the Hoovers to operate with virtual impunity. Moreover, the pride and power of being associated with the Hoovers enabled and empowered its members and associates to commit federal criminal offenses that enriched the individuals and furthered the reputation and objectives of the enterprise. At the time of this indictment, all the Hoover sets, except the 5 Deuce Hoovers, claimed allegiance to the Hoover Criminal Gangsters, or HCG. Like I said, I don't know much about these different factions, so bear with me. The Hoovers had many rivals, including but not limited to the Rollin' 30s, Rollin' 40s, Rollin' 60s, Rollin' 90s, Rollin' 100s, 5 to 7 Neighborhood Crips, Menlo Gangster Crips, 102 Budlong Gangster Crips, Hard Time Hustler Crips, Jesus Christ, 105 Underground Crips, East Coast Crips, 6-2 Brims, and Van Ness Gangster Brims. Rivalries stemmed from a history of feuds over territory for sex trafficking, territory for narcotics sales, rap music, violence on the streets, and feuds between gang members while they're all incarcerated. Now, I wanted to pause here for a minute because it's something that they talk about a lot, like on Adam No Jumper podcast and stuff like that. Like they talk about like their territories and like they call these territories like their blades, and it's just astonishing to me the way they talk about it, like the way they pretty much just claim ownership of individuals on these blades and stuff, like the way they just claim ownership of the street. It's like last I checked, it was like public property, like, you know, the government is supposed to own it, which leads to the bigger question, how are they able to do this for so long? Like literally just down the street, like fight over turf and stuff like that. It just seems so shady and vile and corrupt. It really does. Not even necessarily on the Hoover's end. I'm not even blaming them. Like it's the total lawlessness that's going on. Like what the fuck, police? Like what's going on? Like are you in their pockets? Like you got no integrity? Like what the hell? These children are running around making fools of y'all. Like, get your crap together. Anywho. Okay. Remember where you get those badges and guns from. Like, the Hoovers may pay you for certain, like, shady shit. But at the end of the day, that gun and that badge comes from the tax-paying citizens you're supposed to be protecting. That's just what I want to say about that. The Hoovers have approximately 1,800 members. The Hoovers claim territory in the city of Los Angeles, bounded by Vernon Avenue to the north, Imperial Highway to the south, the 110 freeway to the east, and Vermont Avenue to the west, south of Manchester Avenue, and the Hoover's territory extended further west to Normandy Avenue. Now, I've never been to LA, so I am not familiar with any of these areas, so forgive me if I said any of them wrong or whatever. I don't know. Okay, there were other pockets of Hoover territory disjointed from this main area, including a portion of Hoover territory east of the 110 freeway, often referred to by the Hoovers as the Midwest. And the Hoover's territory largely encompassed the Figueroa corridor, which is pretty infamous. People even not from LA have heard of it. It's very famous. It's a 3.5 mile stretch of Figueroa Street between approximately Slauson Avenue and Century Boulevard. Notorious for sex trafficking, prostitution, and other related crimes. The Hoovers have strongholds over specific hotels and motels in their territory, including the Stadium Inn and Spas, located at 10411 South Vermont Avenue, Los Angeles, the Stadium Inn, and the 110 Motel, located at 700 West Florence Avenue, Los Angeles. The 110 Motel. Fuck, I'm confused. I'm sorry, I'm not from LA, like I said, so it's very confusing to me. Anyways. So now we get into like more dynamics. Okay, the Hoovers comprise of numerous subsets and sets within the whole enterprise, which corresponded to each of the different streets within the Hoovers territory. So obviously each different set of the Hoovers would have their own territory, their own street, etc., etc., including 43rd, 52nd, 59th, 74th, 83rd, 92nd, 94th, 107th, and 112th Street are the Hoovers. Each of these sets had some distinct nuances for their identities, but they all ultimately represented the H, or the Hoovers, first and foremost. So basically what I'm gathering from that statement is like they, it's like basically y'all can make up your own little knockoff names for your own little group of thugs and stuff, but don't forget who you're loyal to. First and foremost, it's about the Hoovers. That's pretty much what I'm getting from this. All right, for example, a Hoover from the 112th Street was considered an 11-deuce Hoover. Hoovers paid homage to the enterprise as a whole and to their specific set. While Hoover's sets might be friendly with other gangs such as Grape Street Crips, Black Pea Stones, 5-1 Troubles, Shotgun Crips, Swan Bloods, Kitchen Crips, and 8-Tray Gangster Crips, they were ultimately most loyal to the Hoover's enterprise, and like as it said earlier, this goes back to the 70s even. Okay. The Hoovers adopted the Houston Astros Major League Baseball team logo as their primary symbol, a white H in front of an orange star. Now, I don't know if they actually like the team or if it's just convenient that it has like an orange H because they like the color orange. Or, I'm sorry, a white H in front of an orange star. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, I would like to point out, I did hear, though, that, like, their influence isn't just specifically, like, in the West either. Like, apparently they were, like, popping up, like, on the East Coast, like, I don't know, was it Baltimore or something like that? I don't know. An area in the East where, like, there was different, like, other subsets of the Hoovers that had some strongholds. So yeah, anyways, so their main logo was like a white H in front of an orange star, and like, the designated color of them, as this indictment says, is orange. Kind of like, I think, what is the Crips color? Is it black or like dark blue or something like that? And obviously the Bloods is red. The Hoovers is orange, from what I gather. I hope I'm not botching this all up. Like I said, I'm not, like, well-versed in the history of these different gangs and stuff in LA. So, I'm not trying to botch it at all, I swear. I'm just trying to get through this lawsuit because it has to do with children. So, yeah, the Hoovers wore the Houston Astros attire and the color orange to show their membership and to make their presence in their territory known, to maintain a stranglehold on criminal activities in the area. They give some examples, pictures of their logos, which they themselves post on their own social media. This is what I mean. They must have had some kind of police cooperation at some point for them just to be so cavalier like this. Like, they had to have. Like no one's this stupid. Like, this can't be stupidity, is what I'm saying. It may look that way, but it just simply can't be. Because they literally did get away with it for so long. But anywho, so yeah, these are all from their own social medias. Okay. Hoovers also signified their membership in the enterprise with tattoos reading H, a star, or other variation of the gang's name, street sets, or their monikers. That's kind of dumb. Like, what if your street changes? Like, I don't know how it works. That might be a dumb question, but like, and you've already got, like, I don't know, like 92nd Street tattooed on your neck or something. Like, how does that work? Do you always have control of that street? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Each set of the Hoovers also had their own emblems that they used. To be honest, can I stop for a minute? To be for real, these gangs, and correct me if I'm wrong, like I said, I'm ignorant when it comes to the history of this, but it's giving me this vibe of like a cultish type vibe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, is that what like gang life is like? Is it kind of like a culty vibe? I'm honestly curious. Okay, so yeah, an H, a star, and other versions of their symbols. Okay, and each set of the Hoovers also had their own emblems that they used aside from the Astro star and the H. For example, 7-4 Hoovers would use the San Francisco Giants Major League Baseball team's orange San Francisco logo to signify 7-4. And 5-2, 9-2, 11-2 Hoovers would wear the Detroit Tigers Major League Baseball team's D logo to signify deuce. Do they actually name themselves these numbers? 5-2, 9-2, 11-2? I'm assuming they have some sort of significance that I'm just unaware of. Okay, as another means of intimidation and to show membership in the Hoover's enterprise, Hoover members flashed hand signs, including their pointer and middle finger to point down and their thumb in middle, effectively making an H. Depending on which set of the Hoovers the member was a part of, they might also flash the number associated with their set, for example, a 4 or a 5. Gang hand signs were significant as a way for gang members to show their allegiance, membership, and loyalty to the enterprise. I have heard that before. All right. Let's go down. Okay, some more social media posts. Now, I'm not totally familiar who's who just yet. But this is Lady Duck. She's the one that this indictment is alleging is like the leader. And I can't remember this guy's name, but he was also on the No Jumper podcast. And I believe, I could be wrong, don't quote me on this, I believe this is P4K. Or Smack. Who is that one? He's the one, I'm pretty sure, that was like on a podcast, probably No Jumper, who knows, that they had claimed was snitching on them when he was just asking a legitimate question about the kids on the street. I don't know. I can't really see that. I'm pretty sure that's him. I could be wrong, though. But anyways, like I said, I don't really know. There's just so many of them. Like, it's hard to keep up. But like I said, you got Lady Duck and a couple of No Jumper faces. So, all right. The Hoovers utilized graffiti or tagging to mark their territory. Tagging included images of the Hoover hand signs, the Houston Astros star, and the words Hoover, Hoovers, and verse, which is a shortened version of Hoovers. Oh, okay. VERS. Okay. All right. Okay. Tagging often included the number associated with their Hoover set. For example, a tag might include 512, which showed the 5-1 Troubles and the 512 Hoovers were in good standing with one another. Another common number shown in tagging was 716, which represented the sum of all Hoover set numbers. Hoover's tagging avoided using specific letters, including S, because S was a letter associated with an enemy of the Hoovers, the 60s. Conversely, the Hoovers would often add letters such as K to indicate they are killers, or include NK, which is shorthand for neighborhood killer or nap killer. Nap is a disrespectful reference to neighborhood crip gangs, referencing the word nappy.